Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 34 of Let's Play Tyranny Gold Edition, the last part. Against Tunon's orders, in some strict sense. Yeah, it's a grey area. We went against his orders, technically, and sought out a mage who is not bound to Kyros to look at Barak's armor. Obviously, what she found was, as expected. Has he got fucking...
Let's be off.
Since when did he have all those swords in his back? Wait. Okay, that looks... No, whatever. So, yeah. We did that. And she wants us to go to Central Strand outskirts and get some metal for him. And you know what? We will do that. We'll do that first. I think that seems like a good idea. Of course, we're going to go do the Burning Library soon. But I'd like to see if we can get him out of his armor in a good way. Like, in a way that makes sense. Your progress is arrested by the apprentice of a gang in crimson and leather who round the corner ahead of you. Oh shit, First mutters, the ass gang. She shrugs at your questioning and glance. I ran with them for a bit. They note your approach, weapons at ease, their foremost gang members raise their hand in greeting. We're just going to attack the gang. You immediately charge the inverse being behind you. Wait, really? She draws her weapon and follows behind you. The ass gang is quick to react, readying their weapons and makeshift shields. The leader belts out a piercing war cry. That is echoed by companions. I'm going to act aggressively, and I'm going to watch Verse's back. Verse leads a dance of blades and you follow in her wake, a bulwark of brooking no interruption from behind. Bronze and iron flash in the sun, and blood spatters across the dirt. It's all over shockingly quick, and the two of you stand above the dying choirman beneath the breath coming in greedy swallows. I'm just going to glare silently. She meets your glare with a grin and gestures down the road towards you. Shall we? So we gained a little bit of wrath and what's it called? And we didn't get any gold, so... A pretty shit encounter, if I do say so myself. The way to Vegas. And apparently we also got something in the spire. I don't know what the fuck. Oh shit, we haven't got enough. We haven't even got full people working at like our main spire. Regular produces weapon. Yep, fuck it. There you go. You're hired. Right. Has my power gone down? No, it hasn't. That's alright then. Let's loot this. Now I definitely expect there to be someone who's going to get in our way. But
sorry,
you never know. Crimson flashes among the torn terrain of the Blade Grave as a gang emerges from the landscape around you. They're hardened men and women with well-weathered skin and narrow eyes. Their piece-metal leather armor graced leather armor graced with notes of bronze. Fatebinder, so nice of you to finally show up. A woman steps forward, grinning at you with small, uneven teeth and wrapped tightly in fur and leather of a blood chanter. A tangled mess of sooty, wind-blown hair drapes her shoulders, and her large eyes scrutinize you hungrily. Beautiful scenery, no? Truly displays the indiscriminate artistry of our overlord. I'm gonna glare silently. Do I have blood on my face again? She wipes at her cheek, smearing soot. Am I supposed to know who you are? That's Careless Spark. Good people. I mean, as good as Chorus comes. Verse keeps her voice low, speaking for you alone. Ahoy there, Verse. It's been a while. Telling the Fatebinder about the time we found that commune out half gateway. Trust up those farm boys and... No. Also, shut up. Sounds like there's a story there. Maybe I'll tell you once we're good friends. Go ahead, Spark. We'll see how many wags your tongue manages before I've torn it out and cauterized the stump. Enough of this inbred prattle. I heard you run hot under that cold metal. Seems I heard true. Get on with it and tell me what you want. I don't expect you're willing to sell the Ironclad's services to us. The Archon of Secrets would be wildly ridiculously grateful to have a personal audience with him. I think I speak for both that I speak for Barak and myself when I tell you we'd sooner see him dead than in the hands of the Voice of the Narat. I thought it might come to this in the end. Let us see you live up to your legend. She sides and hefts her staff as her gang moves to attack. Right. Oh shit, she's using one of the few laws of magic we don't currently possess. Can't say I recommend that, but she's to be the first target.
Heads up, we have company.
Wait. Rim spike that bitch.
Damn thing couldn't pierce the cloth.
And now do that one.
Can't do that. Sorry, can't.
Whirlwind, that's... Come on. Yeah, we go. Use your spells. That's what I like to see. I don't think these guys are really going to do much about us, to be honest.
Sorry.
What the fuck is going on? There we go. My magic's actually working now. Let's dropkick this prick. Charge this prick.
Will do.
Come on, Verse. You're not allowed to die. Alright, if that's what we're doing, we're healing. Fine. Fair enough. I can do that. See? I can do that too, you prick. The difference is when I do it, it's good. When you do it, it's a waste of time. Because no matter how you look at it, you're going to die anyway. See? Another gang of crimson corpses made of trespassers upon the Blade Grave. Let us came what brought us here, he sighs.
I got it.
Did that guy just not genocide, but that guy, I'm pretty sure that guy just blew himself up.
Will this do? It is nigh the size of a kite sheet. You have your rock. Let us leave this place.
Something bothering you, Barrack?
I have repeatedly asked you to leave this be, yet you persist. Do you think that you act in my interest? Do you think you know better than I where my interest lies?
Apparently I do.
You are mistaken, Fatebinder. I ask you again to leave this be, to throw that hunk of metal away and never think of it further. There was no ambiguity in the Archon of Justice's ruling.
More ambiguity than you might think. The flexibility of the law is in the details.
I may never understand you clerks of the court, saying one thing and plotting another, all in the name of justice.
Peering at the ground for several seconds, Barrack says nothing and then turns his attention back to you.
This place haunts me, Fatebinder. These walls, these lands, they were hard once, but they possessed an austere beauty. The general saw them for what they were. Lands well worth fighting for. The winds that day, they swept everything aside. They tumbled tearsmen and livestock like children's playthings. The dust choked our mouths and eyes. Trees appeared as if by magic, only to be smashed into splinters against stones. And those splinters cut like knives.
Go on.
We were no fools. We knew what had fallen upon us, and we took cover as best our iron shields and the general's protection allowed. Yet the wind tore us away, one by one. Some silent, some screaming. Now only I remain. In this state.
His gauntlet rings against his breast, cutting off any possible response.
Take the metal to your smith, or do not. There's nothing further to be said. Let us leave.
Yep. Barrack and I now have enough hatred of each other, fear of each other for a Blade Grave's grasp. A powerful attack that traps nearby enemies, twisted. So to be fair, fear isn't a bad thing in this game. Like, fear is obviously like, you can have high loyalty, but they can still be scared of you, essentially. And in some, I would honestly argue that having them scared of you makes you stronger, because you have the making them loyal and while still being scared of you gives them more power, because you then you have more abilities with them, and that you together can then become a stronger unit. So it's a very weird thing, but it, like in
Right.
overall, you
Can't
become
do
a
that.
lot stronger by
Sorry,
having them
I
fear
can't.
you and like revere you. Well, not revere, but loyal. Be loyal to you. It's a very weird system, but I do like it. But I understand why Barak doesn't want, like, obviously do it, but so far I don't see any part. I don't. We haven't broke what we've been told to do. So let's go to the secluded forge and give her the thing. You're back. Did you secure the alloy? Give it here. She opens a palm and regards you with enthusiasm. What do you plan on doing with it? First I'll prod, and otherwise examine it. What comes after that depends on the find and after poking and prodding. Here. Oh, fantastic. She accepts the alloy and places it on her anvil. Mumbling, she traces her fingers in the air, forming a series of sigils. With rapt attention, Barak watches the smith move about the sample, examining it from several angles. He says nothing, though with the faceplate of his helm shifts towards you, and there's accusation in his eyes. A few other thoughtful sounds follow as she continues her examination. A revealing cantrip and some aimless grunting. Oh, come on, I could have managed this. This will do. This will most certainly do. She straightens, nodding vigorously. Lacentia brings her hands together in a single sharp clap. It's going to take me a little time to work out the rock's properties, but this is a promising start. I assume you will be stabbing it with a hot iron rod as well? Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Of course not. His armor grinds against itself with a growl. Pull up a stool or crate or make yourself at home. This shouldn't take too long. A few hours pass as Lacentia bombards a sample from the blade grave with a combination of hammering and spell work. She heats it, submerges it in water, shapes it, reaves it in lightning, and causes it to levitate in the air. Eventually, she pauses, studying the metal and trapping her chin. Say nothing. Is that it then? Have you completed whatever it is you are doing? Barak clears his throat. Apologies, I'd kind of forgotten about you. The air absorbs and retains mystical energy, specifically in the form of magical effects. She grins. In theory, a weapon crafted of it could retain its enchantment for decades at least, maybe longer. What does that mean for Barak? It means your curiosity is sated. It means that we can continue on our true mission and forget this heretical quest. You live your entire life in service to Graven Ash and Overlord. The added burden of this armor is ridiculous. As it should be. I don't suffer this armor because it is just. I suffer it because it is Kyros' will, and I am Kyros' servant, as you have often claimed to be. Unfortunately, separating Barak from his armor may not be as easy as one imagines. Perhaps if I'd gotten him immediately after the edict. As is, Barak is as all alloyed with this armor as the iron is with the bronze. She gestures toward the sample. Simply put, Ash's ability to shield his soldiers has spread to the armor, likely due to the edict's power. Each wound taken by the soldier and armor are one, and they heal as one, with flesh and metal fusing together. She intertwines her fingers. So long as Barak remains under the Archon of War's power, he remains in the armor. The longer he remains in his armor, the more it will become an intractable part of him. You're a lot of trouble, you know. Do not attempt to assign blame for this folly to me. I have opposed this at every turn. Is there no other way? An alternative? I'll continue studying the island. If I find anything, I'll send word to your spire. She drums her chin with the free soot fingers frowning. You could always visit. We have a teleporter. It's not like you have to climb the whole thing. I'll pass, thanks. High spaces have never agreed with my everything. She passes open palm over her belly. Short of the death of the Graven Ash or him rescinding his patronage over Barak, I see no way to free Barak from the Archon's power.
Neither is an acceptable solution. This shell, onerous though it may be, protects me and serves you. Without the great general or the disfavored, I have no purpose.
Oh, come on, you big crybaby. I'm sure there's a siege engine somewhere in need of a counterweight.
There's always protecting me. There's purpose in that.
Attempt to harm General Ash in my name, Fatebinder, and this arrangement shall swiftly end.
Well, then this was an incredible waste of time. Well, I wouldn't say waste. I mean, as you say, Fatebinder, I reach out to you if I discover anything. In one simple mission, I have pissed off Barrack more than I ever pissed him off when I last played this game. Although I do like how Lantry has literally... Lantry has no opinion over me. So let's talk to Barrack.
I was better off not knowing, Fatebinder.
Well, now you know.
Oh, that the Archon's protection, the very thing to which I owe my life, keeps me imprisoned in this shell.
He shakes his head violently, throwing sparks where his helm meets Kyros.
Ignorance of how deeply cursed I am was the only blessing remaining me.
To be fair, I may be a dick, but I'm sorry, Barrack. I'll just keep seeking an alternative way to set you free.
I appreciate the sentiment, Fatebinder, but truly, pursuing this further is folly. Truly, Fatebinder, while we may not always agree, I consider you more than a comrade in arms, which is why I hope you abandon this foolish obsession with removing my armor. No choice exists here. This armor remains my cage, as Kyros willed. I can accept that. I hope that you can too.
As long as I keep more loyalty with him than anger, I'm not worried. But fear, I'm not worried. Dauntless is getting up there. Oh, the Alchemist Gloves is nearly done. So far, Tunon isn't upset with me, which is fucking surprising. But anyway, we're going to go to Effigy and get on with the quest that we were meant to be doing. But first things first, encountering the burning library. A thick reef of smoke is visible from the road, coiling into the sky behind a charred hill. A few discordant cries break the stillness of the air for a brief moment. You follow the ashen trail to its source and spot a crowd of villagers surrounding the smouldering remains of a burnt house, somber and grave. Confront the group and demand an explanation. The smell of burnt flesh assails you as you approach. A haggard-looking woman notices you and grasps, gathering up her suit-covered skirt in her hands as if ready to flee. She has a dozen other men and women with her, faces grunt, skin cracked, and dusty from ash. You demand an explanation, and the woman admits that the village gave shelter to 4 sages, a decision that she considered foolhardy. Fearing reprisal from the chorus patrols of the disfavored scouts, she barricaded the house only door and set fire to the building where they slept. The group isn't of one mind, some remain quiet while others call her a murderer. The argument intensifies momentarily before you let out a shrill whistle to silence them. The villagers turn to regard you, their fate in your hands. Yeah, torch the entire village for being complicit in these murders. With weapons drawn, you force the villagers to kneel before you as you pronounce your verdict. The entire settlement is guilty of murder, directly or in as accessory to the fact. The punishment, you declare, is a complete razing of the village. You grab a wooden beam from the burnt house and set it aflame, handing it to the woman that set the blaze. She stares at you dumbfounded before realizing that you meant for her to do the deed. She stumbles towards the next building, trembling as she presses the burning beam against it, igniting the dry roof. The villagers staring in shock as she moves from one building to the next. You step into some of the harems as they begin to burn, claiming any items of value you see by your authority as a fatebinder. Satisfied, you return home to the road, leaving the growing flames in your wake. As you walk, a cacophony of angry shouts trails after you, followed by high-pitched screams and then silence. And Blade and Mark was very happy with our decision. Apparently, we need to rescue. Ooh. Oh! Unfortunately, it's not actually a good weapon. It's just a really good weapon. It's not like an actual what's it called weapon. We got a new one. We got the level 2 one. We don't actually need... Actually, level 2 is obviously better than level 4 in some regards because it means we can use it a bit differently.
Yes.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm unfortunately going to have to end this part here for now because I don't want to go over again. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next part. See you guys then.